Here comes the sun, do 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 do. Here comes the sun, and I say, welcome back everyone, Tron here, and we are going to be doing episode 2 of Botania Blood Magic Thaumcraft. So let's get started. So I said I'd be starting with Botania, and we will be getting to that in a minute, but first I wanted to show the cosmetic mods, since I'm using those to build this area. And we have two of them. There's Chisel and Carpentry blocks. And Chisel gives you tons of different options for when you're doing vanilla blocks. The chisels are made pretty simple. With a stick and a piece of iron, that'll get you your chisel. And if you hold the chisel in your hand and you right click, you can see, even with cobble, without even smelting it, you can get all these different options for really cool blocks. And I use those actually for the base of this house. And you can see we actually have sloped roofs. And it's pretty awesome. That's a part of the other mod, carpenter blocks. And with carpenter blocks, you get a hammer and you can make all these different kinds of things. Like the slopes are one of the coolest things, but I'd say the most coolest thing is actually the collapsible blocks, which we'll get to at a later point. The hammer is made with 3 iron and 2 of these carpenter blocks. That'll get you your hammer. It's used for just about everything in this mod. And the carpenter blocks are made with an oak plank and sticks surrounding it. And that'll get you 5 carpenter blocks. And then the carpenter blocks you can turn into all different kinds of things, like these slopes. There's a stair recipe. There is a pressure plate. And a pressure plate's cool because unlike stone plates, if you right click it with the hammer, it's only active when monsters step on it now, so it won't open when I'm on it, or animals, or all entities, or only players. So now if anything else hits this, it won't work. Only players can open this door. And carpenter blocks allow you to mix or change their look with other blocks. Like I can take a cobblestone, put it in there, now it looks like a cobblestone pressure plate. If you shift and left click, you can pull that off without having to actually break the plate. And this works across mods too. You can use, I wonder if I probably put a piece of cinnamon. No, it won't take the ore. My iron pick to break that. So there are some things it won't do. Like I don't think it's gonna do ores at all. Oh, it will do ores. So not every block, but most blocks will actually work with this. That's kind of cool looking. Let's get that back. We don't have a lot of gold. So I'm actually not even going to use a pressure plate at the moment. The blocks themselves, when you place them down, if you put something like, I can break this by hand right now, and it breaks pretty quickly. And not cobblestone. If you put the carpenter block down and you put a cobblestone in it, it gains the properties of cobblestone. So the blast resistance and the tool needed to break it. Like if I use cobblestone, I can break it with, or use a pick, it'll break a lot quicker. If I use wood and my non-existent hammer, you can break it by hand too. It's also faster if you just remove the item with the hammer and then pick it back up. That's not everything you can do with this though. You can make fences. Fences are made just like that, and these fences are really cool as well. Oh, you can also make these doors. This door does not normally look like this. I actually took some clay blocks and threw it on there. This is how the door normally looks, and its texture can be changed as well. So now we have a full glass. You can have no glass. There's like a grate. And there's all different kinds of cool things you can do with it. I like the default one. And you can dye the top and bottom differently if you want. But as you can see, it also takes blocks. So you could make it, I could use stone, and it would just match completely except for this spot. But let's put that back and remove that. We're gonna go with the clay for now. And all we had for wood options was oak. So when I get more wood options, I'm gonna change this roof. And when I actually get a colored block, I'm gonna change the color of these doors too. You can also make beds. This bed starts out not looking like that. It starts out just a simple white bed with a wood frame, and you can dye the cloth and you can dye the bed frame, which is what I did here. You can also right click on it and you'll get different options that way. You got quite a few different choices. Let's get my red dye back and get back to, I think I'm gonna have to pick it up. And we'll go with that for now. It's getting dark. Yeah, it's getting dark, so let's sleep real quick, and then I'll show you the fences. There we go. Now these fence posts are pretty awesome, and they still work like other fence posts. You can't just jump over them. And when you place them down, the starting texture is this, and you can see the posts actually will just keep extending out. If you wanted to put a post in somewhere, you could always left click it, and now you have a post there as well. If you right click, you can see all the different texture patterns. You've got this one, you've got the one that I'm using, which has the alternating woods like some fences do, and then you have the texture that's used on cobblestone for the stone fences, and then it goes back to the other one. So that's it for the fences. See, I've got the house pretty much done, except for later on I'll redecorate it. We've got a wheat farm here. This wheat farm will be very important, not really for the wheat, but for the seeds. We will be needing seeds for Botania flowers, craft the flowers, and then we're going to be needing a ton of seeds to make seed oil eventually for forestry. So getting this farm up was pretty essential early on. And then over here, these are witchery flowers. You've got snowbells. These give you snowballs, so you don't have to find a snow biome. And they also sometimes give you these icy needles. Then you have the belladonna flower. And I haven't done too much with witchery, I just know that you need these flowers. These are water artichokes, they actually grow on the water, and these are mandrakes. And then over here, eventually I'll put, this is going to be a melon farm, I'll have pumpkins and melons when I find them. I still need to get an animal pen set up, get some cows over here, so we can start breeding them, get their leather, so that we can make books, because the first thing we're going to want is the Lexica Botanica, and for that we're going to need a book. So I will pause here, I'm going to get the animal farm set up, and get us a book, and then we will start with Botania. Okay, so we got our cows. There was a few of them over on the other side of the water here, and we got a little pen for them. Made some, we got some breeding going and got some leather from them. Made ourselves the Botania. Door doesn't want to close. Whoa! Getting some server lag here. Okay. Am I inside? Is the door gonna close? Well, the server tries to figure out what it's doing. Yeah, the recipe for the Botania is a book with a sapling. And that gets you the awesome book of everything you need to know about Botania. If you look in basics and mechanics, you'll find the first thing you're going to need is a petal apothecary. This is used to create all the flowers. And it's also why we needed the wheat field to get a bunch of seeds, because every flower takes at least one seed. And here's your recipe for creating it. I already made one. And we're going to place it here. That looks like a good place. And we're going to need water. Each flower is also going to need water. So, there goes my shovel. We're going to place it here in the corner. We're going to need another bucket of water. Let's go get that before the monsters start spawning. Too late, they're already spawning. Running this way. He might have been underground. I knew I heard one to my side. Let's get back inside here. There we go. Now we have all the water we need right here. I want to fill it up. So there's our petal apothecary. That's our start. And the first flower we're going to need is this pure daisy. And what the pure daisy does is it takes any wood logs and stone blocks, can't be cobblestone, and it turns it into living wood and living rock, and that's used for a lot of different things. And here's recipes for what you can do with the wood. Here's the recipe for the flower itself: 4 white petals in the apothecary. So what we do is we're going to take 2 of these flowers, because each one gives you 2 petals. And we have some seeds here. And we're just going to throw them in. Throw them in any time now. Seem to be having some server issues. Definitely having some server trouble here. Not sure why. There's nobody else on. And it's not like I have a lot going on here. I have some cows and a crop field. So, I'm not sure what's up with that. But, alright. So we got our flower. And we're going to take this. Let's see. Oh, great. We're going to place it here. It has to be on dirt somewhere. I want to start with stone. Go ahead and get some stone going here. And it's definitely not registering that I put the stone there. There's no sound. We're going to go inside. Okay, so it just registered that I did all that. We're going to go inside and give it a minute. And then we'll come back when it's ready to transform. Okay, so here it is, transforming, and you get this living rock out of it. Or, okay, do we have it now? Okay, having some server issues today, not sure why. Well, we got 6 living rock instead of 8, so there's a start. We're going to need some living wood too, which means we need full oak logs. So let's go ahead and just grab some of these. And we'll place these down here. Let that go. There is no way that just finished. Wow. Okay, it's supposed to take a little more than a minute to do these, but apparently that one was ready to go instantly. Not sure why. Something to do with the server, probably. Well, let's go ahead and sleep. Now these monsters stop spawning. Okay. While we're waiting on that, we'll go ahead and look at what our next flower is going to be. So we go over here to generating flora. These are all the flora that will create mana. And the first one we're going to be able to do, I think this is the only one we can actually do at the start, is the Daybloom. And the Daybloom generates flower in sunlight. It turns it into mana. So as long as it's daytime, we're good. We need an orange, light blue, and yellow petals. So 2 yellow petals. You know what, we're going to make 2 of these, so we're going to grab this. We're going to end up making a ton of these to start out with. They do not produce a lot of mana, as they are passive flowers, but we can make them quite easily. So server is not having fun with me today. I don't know what is going on. It wasn't doing this earlier, and all of a sudden I start recording, and now it's acting up on me. So we'll get this one flower done, and then we'll be back when we figure out why the server is lagging. Okay, so lag seems to have stopped again. Let's try this again. We're going to take 2 yellow petals. You know, maybe it's only doing, maybe my computer's doing something when I'm recording, because now it's getting delay again. It seems to be okay. So okay, here's our first flower, or our first mana flower. We got the Daybloom, and we're gonna get 2 of these. There we go. Alright, so these are our first mana generating flowers. Put a spot right here. There we go. And as you can see in here, it tells you putting them right next to each other is bad. You don't get as much mana from them that way. So you want to have them spread out with nothing like right next to them. So all of these 4 spots right here would be bad. But that would be okay. So we're going to leave those 2 just like that. And let's get ourselves an axe, because we're going to be chopping a lot of this trees. This will make it a bit faster cutting those logs open. Okay, and actually we're going to want to do more logs again. So let's get some more logs going here. We'll do half and half, because we are going to need some more stone as well. The first thing we're going to do is show you in the book here. Wand of the Forest. This is your tool for all the stuff you do in Botania. It needs 3 living wood twigs and 2 petals. And each twig is 2 living wood. So it's going to take 6 of this wood we just got to make this wand. Not that wood. This wood. So we get 3 twigs. And we're going to have to pick out the colors. I'm going to go with purple and blue. You can use any 2 petals you want. And when you place them in, that'll actually determine the colors of the petals for the wand itself, which is pretty cool. We're going to go purple and blue. And you can see there's the purple and there's the blue, and if you swap it, it'll actually go blue and then purple. And yeah, we're going to do purple blue. So here we go, Wand of the Forest. And excellent. Okay. Well, it looks like we're going to have to wait for the second time it does that stuff to make sure that it goes through. Alright, let's do half and half again. We'll let that go, and that's perfect. We have just exactly what we're going to need for our next part now. So now that we have our mana generating flowers, we need a place to store the mana they're making. You can see right now they're storing it inside the flower themselves, and that's what that yellow bar is on them. But now they're full and they have nowhere to go with the mana, so you can see it's just giving off light. Do they actually give off? They don't give off light though. It's just the particle effects. So we need a way to store the mana and a way to get the mana to that storage. And the way to get it there is through mana spreaders, and we're going to store it in... It doesn't actually show you right here. You got to go to mana manipulation. You got the mana pool. The mana pool is like your battery. And to create the mana pool, we're going to need 5 living rock. The mana spreader, this is why I had to go mining first. The mana spreader will send it to the mana pool, and we need the living wood and we need a gold ingot with a petal. So that's great, those groups are done. Let's get our petal. We already have our gold ingot. And let's get this spreader. Alright, here's one spreader. And here is our mana pool. You can see this is a diluted mana pool. If you look in here at the mana pool, all the diluted ones only store a very small amount of mana, and you can't infuse items with it. I'm not sure if flowers can draw mana from diluted pools, but to create a regular pool, you just have a diluted pool, or a regular pool will work too. It just has to be a pool that has mana, and this is the only thing you can infuse in a diluted mana pool, is another diluted mana pool. So we're going to want 2 of these. So there we go, we've got 2 of these. The sun is setting, can we sleep yet? Okay, let's sleep real quick, stop the monsters from getting in. I'm going to need to light up this area, wall it off or something. There's actually flora we can do with that, both for lighting and keeping mobs away. So we'll probably do that in another episode. Let's start with the mana spreader. We're going to put it here. Yeah, that works. So you can see it's got this neat little feature of a rotating cube inside the box. And it's only on that side. That's the side the mana is going to come out. And when you hold the wand, you can see where it's going to shoot. And this little orb here is the max distance the mana can go before you start losing mana. So like if I had the mana pools here, it would actually lose some mana. If I put it here, all the mana that comes out of the spreader would go into the pool. So any point from here up is fine for this pool. We're going to place the pool here for now. As you can see, if you put your wand over it, actually shows you what this is going into, and you can see it highlights the other one. And you can see it's going to be filling up this pool. And as you can see, these are now empty. The spreader has a little bit in it. It will shoot the mana once it has a certain amount inside, and it'll go into this pool. And 2-day blooms is very slow mana. You can see these ones were full when we looked at it. This thing holds a lot more mana than a single flower will. And this still has nothing because this hasn't gained enough yet. So what we're going to want to do is want to build more flowers. This isn't going to do anything yet. No. So let's go ahead and build a couple more day blooms. We have enough here to do a couple more. Get our orange, our light blue, and yellow flowers. And it's 2 yellows, an orange, and a light blue. And drop the seed in, and we get the flower. Did it just fire? When it fires, you can see the shot. Otherwise, you actually have to hold the wand to see where it's going to go. Alright. So here is 2 more day blooms. And we'll go ahead and place them here. So now you can see these are feeding to the spreader. It definitely fired, and okay, we have a little bit of mana in there. Is that actually enough to... No, it is not. So we'll leave that there for a sec. Let's see. Is this going to fire again anytime soon? No. So why don't we go ahead and let this run for a bit. And we will eventually get back to this. Maybe we'll go ahead and look at building our blood altar now for blood magic. And get started with that while this does its thing. Maybe harvest a little bit more wood and stone. Oh, actually never mind. There we go. So 2 mana shots from here got us the mana pool. We're going to swap this out. So now we have our regular mana pool. This holds much more than the diluted and lets us do everything. And we'll fill up this one eventually, but we're just going to leave this here like this and possibly try and gather some more flowers, get a little bit more regeneration, and get ready to start blood magic, and we will be right back. And again, looking at the time for this episode, we are approaching 30 minutes, so there's not really going to be much time left to start blood magic. We will save that for our next episode. And during that time, we will let the mana pool start to fill up, get a couple more flowers, and get everything ready to start blood magic. Figure out where we're going to place our altar. We're going to need a large area for this altar. Possibly just put it up here. And I just noticed there is a Thaumcraft node right here. It's very hard to see. We'll get into that in probably not next episode. Maybe the one after that. We'll start Thaumcraft and you can see the node and how those work. We're going to have to get ourselves a scoop and move these beehives, and I think we'll put our altar up here. But for now, this will be the end of this episode. Tune in next time and we will start blood magic.